Fill up your camelbacks and don't forget the bear spray, because we're coming to you live from the side of a dangerous mountain to give you all our best tips on day hiking. Tip number 1, never record a podcast from the side of a dangerous mountain. It's not safe, and frankly, it's just bad podcasting. This episode, Kristin educates us on best hiking practices and shares what she's learned from hiking all throughout Maine and around the United States, while Grace butts in with her tips on how to pack for your sensory needs and ADHD hiking mistakes to avoid. Then, it's nothing but goofin as we share our current hyperfocuses and divulge piping hot pizza secrets, one of which sends Kristin into an emotional spiral. Come suckle at this little teet of an episode, where the knowledge you'll gain far outweighs the sacrifice of having to hear us say suckle at the teet.
They said that we'd grow out of it. Well, the joke's on them, that's just our brains. We're eccentric, loud, and stubborn, and most of our clothing is covered in stains. It's not a deficit of attention, there's just too much to think about. So if executive dysfunction becomes a little too much, if you forgot why you came in this room, or you're hypersensitive to touch, then put on your seamless socks and come join our little flock. Bitches stimming together, we're weirds of a feather. Weirds of a feather.
Hello, and welcome to Weirds of a Feather, an ADHD-Adjacent podcast. I am your host, Grace, and then ideally, Kristin would be here to say, and I'm your host, Kristin. No, that's not a good Kristin. Let's see. And I don't know how to do this without being offensive. I'm just going to move on. Anyway, Kristin is not here because it's Grace. I know I had you fooled with the voice, but it's just me here alone in the pod loft. I am once again paying for our decision to cut a regular episode in 2, and I am having to make a new introduction for this one all on my own. This whole thing has been quite the ordeal, hasn't it? For me, more than any of us, really. Thank God I'm so brave. All right, I was going to fuck around and maybe even come up with a crazy morning question and pretend to be Kristin, blah, blah. But then I realized I would have to edit it, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to plop you right on into the episode. All right, that's it. That's the introduction. I'll see you on the other side of whatever this next thing is.
My body is ready.
My mind is not here.
My mind is blank.
My mind is elsewhere.
Okay.
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 Hey. Oh, that's it.
All right. Should we get into hobby collectors?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Hobby collectors song. Where did we land on a new one? No one has written us a new hobby collector song. Why won't you do this free labor for us?
Yeah. So we've got bubbles down.
Yeah, we've nailed the bubbles.
We've almost nailed drum/bass.
Kind of. Karen blew me out of the water, so I'm like ashamed to revisit that one. What other
We could do
instruments
the kazoo, but we just did kazoo, you know?
That's a lot of kazoo.
That's a lot of kazoo. I think if we do kazoo, we both kazoo.
Oh, double kazoo.
You know?
I haven't been practicing like you have.
I practice every day.
I know you do. Sometimes double sessions.
2 a day is kazoo.
It's preseason. Kazoo preseason.
Kazoo preseason. Got to get ready for the season.
All right, but you should start telling people that you're training for the season, the upcoming season. No matter what season it is.
Yeah.
Just say you're training for the upcoming season. Especially if sports come up. Like, oh, you guys training for the upcoming season?
Yeah, I'm doing 2 days for the kazoo.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
I got a 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. session, and then, later that night, I got to come back. I got 10 p.m. to midnight.
Yep. But that's how we do.
You got to hit the kazoo hard.
Yeah, if you want a kazoo, you got to put in the work.
And you know what? It pays off.
Yep.
Because
look at me now.
You're playing kazoo.
There we are.
And no one has said stop that we know of.
That we know of.
We haven't been around for it if you
Yep.
have. So
So
sorry.
fuck off.
Write us an email. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's
Or
your fault.
don't. We're not going to check that one.
Yeah. Also, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
All right, let me do a little practice.
Yeah,
I was going to say the
practice.
other plan B could be that we just like change the instrument or the beat that I'm doing. Like
Mhm.
I have trouble with rhythm. I'm not.
We both do.
Or like, I feel like I'm pretty musically inclined as a,
you
as
did
a
go to
person.
fiddle camp.
I feel, yeah, I did good. Not to brag, but I did go to fiddle camp for years. I feel like I pick instruments up really easily, but then I have like really bad rhythm. Like I'm not good at being on beat. I just want to fiddle to my own tune.
It's because you're white. It's like in our it's in our blood that we're just really bad at rhythm.
Yeah, it's one of the many negatives of white people.
Yeah.
Add it to the list.
What if I go?
These. Oh, you gotta stop now. That's it. You gotta cut it off.
Sorry. Like, keep going.
These are the collectors, and these are their hobbies.
Wait.
All right.
Hey,
that was
one
a
needs
good
a
one.
little. That one needs help, but I
Well,
think you could cut
they all
out
do.
that part where I lost.
Where you went on for way too long. You just got carried away.
I lost steam, but I kept that train going.
That's the most important thing, as long as it's still going.
Yep.
Except I needed you to stop. And you didn't. But
I don't know the words to the song, I guess.
well, all right, yeah. Why don't you do the drums from now on?
Okay.
Because
Do you want to do
why is the
more?
burden always on me?
Do you want to do one more?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Nah. Let's just call it.
You're happy.
I don't know about happy, but
You get two to choose from.
I'm ready to move on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Welcome to Hobby Collectors. This one is where we talk about hobbies and we kind of reflect on the fact that people with ADHD oftentimes almost collect. They kind of pick up new things very quickly and then move on very quickly. So they end up kind of almost collecting hobbies.
Yes, we love to start things. Finishing is not our strong suit.
Right.
And we also have to follow the interest, So
Yeah.
our interest is always changing.
Yeah.
And this segment is in honor of all of those hobbies that we have started and maybe even discarded along the way.
Yeah. The ones that you've fully committed to making a new social media account about and then
Open an Etsy page.
yeah, stamps.com account.
Told everyone about it.
Yeah. And then a month later you're like, what?
I'm on to stamps now.
Yeah.
Is that collecting or just like rubber stamping? We don't know.
We don't know.
Both, maybe.
Probably.
All right, Kristin, what's our hobby for today?
We have one that's near and dear to my heart. It's hiking.
Yay.
Woo woo! It's springtime. There's sun out. It's less muddy than it was. And today we're going to be exclusively talking about day hiking because I'm not really a backpacker. Have you ever been on like a...
Oh, I thought you meant instead of night hiking.
Oh.
I was like, I wouldn't have even thought to make that distinction. Once the sun goes down, forget about it.
So
Kristin's
instead
out
of I am more of a, I go up the trail, I go back the trail, and then I go to my, whether I'm like camping at a campground, my home base.
Yes.
I'm not someone who does the Appalachian Trail or the PCT, which is the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm not a backpacker where I have a big pack and then I go and then I camp along the way.
No, I've never done that. I need my comforts.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Hiking is already a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's enough work for me.
This is, maybe one day, but not today.
No.
Today we're talking about day hiking because one, it's much easier to pick up.
Night hikers, get out of here. This isn't for you.
This isn't for you. And that's wildly dangerous.
Yeah.
And you may be asking, but Kristin, what are your qualifications?
Kristin, what are your qualifications?
Well, I've hiked for a while. I'm hiking as we speak.
We're recording this on a hike.
On a trail.
Doesn't the quality sound good?
Yeah.
That's how good of an editor I am.
Yeah, you're great. Great at what you do. No, I've been hiking since I was a little kid. My dad, well, both my parents, but mostly my dad, because my mom is a glamper, not a camper, which is fine. So my dad specifically would take us to, we went to a lot of like state parks in Maine. Maine has a lot of woods. I don't know if you know anything about Maine, but there's a lot of forest. So we go out in the woods, we go hiking, and that was like our little vacation. And so we've done a lot of camping. I've been doing this for a while. I did a lot of it when I lived out west. and I still do it today.
Yeah, you've really become a big hiker, especially in the last few years.
Yeah,
I feel like
I like
the
it.
last, 10 years, I guess.
Yeah.
You've really started going on a lot of big hikes. You're very motivated with it. You're good at actually getting out there. I like hiking also. I also grew up, going on hikes.
Yeah, we've
with
done
my
plenty
parents.
of hikes together.
Yes. But it's like with skiing, where I like it once I'm there, but I don't always have the drive to get myself to do it.
It's
like, that's
skiing
a lot
is
of
a
work.
little bit, I think there's a lot more at stake with skiing. But
Yes.
Yeah.
But you are very good at being motivated to go hiking and planning it and
it's a lot of
getting us out on those trails.
Last minute preparation. I do a lot of.
What other preparation is there?
I think that's what I'm really good at. Oh, we're going tomorrow? Let's plan.
Yeah.
I've been hiking throughout New England. I've been to Arizona for hiking. I've been hiking in Oregon, Washington, Arkansas. That was a weird trip.
Oh.
Gab, I know you're listening. Ohio, Kentucky, and California. And I think it's great. It provides a lot of happiness. I like being out in the sun, lots of physical activity, and get to see some incredible views and stuff, or some trees, some ferns, and just gets you out in nature, and it makes me happy. So I like to do it, and I want to share with you.
Please share.
All right. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I don't have to explain what hiking is compared to my bonsai hobby.
Yeah, I feel like most people have a general sense of, the concept of hiking.
But for those of you who don't, there's a trail and you walk on it and you're outside. All right, bada bing, bada boom, you got to hike.
But here's a question. When does a walk become a hike? What's the distinction between a walk and a hike?
Distance?
Do you need elevation or is it distance?
No, because you can do flat trails.
Okay. So it's not the elevation, it's the distance.
I guess
what about,
so.
I was going to say, what about being in the woods, but then there's Arizona. I've also done a hike in Arizona and you're not in the woods at all.
No, you're in
but
the
you're
desert.
in an element, maybe being in, but anytime you're outside, you're in
we'll
the
take
elements.
a poll on it. We'll ask a question.
All right. What's the difference between a walk and a hike? When does a walk become a hike?
When does a walk in the woods become the hike?
And when does a hike become a walk?
Yeah. Let us know.
Big questions. All right.
Hear from the wolf.
Well, we're waiting for your
waiting.
answer.
No, we're not waiting. I can't wait.
You never can.
I think, for the longest time, I was like, I like the loop trails where you make one circle. But I think I like the up and back. I like to have a destination because then you're like, ba-da, and then you go back.
I like to also know how much it's going to be on the way back. Yeah. Whereas with the loop, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Unless you look at a map, but who wants to do that?
I have a lot of tips and a lot of things to talk about. So let's move on. What do you need to get started? And the great thing about hiking is you can make this as intense or not intense as you want. But generally, I would advise people to bring a backpack, plenty of water, good fitting shoes, and many snacks.
And for a lot of ADHDers, whatever you think is a good amount of water and snacks, double it.
Yeah, I think not just for ADHDers, but for people in general, you just don't realize how much water, especially if it's really hot out. And we'll get in, actually, it's my next part. So for water, it took me a very long time to figure out how much water to bring on a hike. I went through this phase where I wouldn't bring enough, and then I overdid it and brought way too much, and now you're carrying 4 extra bottles of water. Some people, if you look at the online forums, they go by ounces per mile per person. In Arizona, they were you need 1 gallon per. It was something crazy, a gallon per mile per person. And I'm like, we're doing a 9-mile trail. I'm not drinking.
That's so much water.
That's so much. But I think if you were doing that and we did it, kind of in the off season where it wasn't so hot. But I guess if it's 110 degrees. But then you also have people in Arizona who brought half a Poland Spring water bottle for a 9-mile trail. And they're like, it's really hot out. And you're like, oh my God.
You might die.
I'm concerned.
Jeez.
So it totally depends on the weather. Obviously, in the summer, if you're in a really hot environment, if you're in a really humid environment too, you're going to drink more. If it's fall or early spring, you probably won't drink as much. But what I found was really helpful, because I am someone who forgets to take water breaks and forgets to take I'll take a snack break, but I won't drink any. I forget to drink the water. It happens a lot. I have the little camelback. It's a on the back water pouch thing. Little camelback is usually a brand. I didn't know what the generic brand was called, but
turns you into a little camel.
Yeah. But and it has that big loopy straw thing that goes up through your backpack over the shoulder.
Hose.
Yeah. And then you kind of just suck on it.
You can suckle at the teat.
Yeah, that's a really gross way of putting it. But yeah, so you can kind of just suckle at the teat as you're on the trail.
You're normalizing it.
Yeah.
I may have said but you're normalizing it.
I really hate that I just said that. But you can kind of drink as you go, so you don't have to take water breaks. If you don't feel like it, you should take breaks if you feel like it. But I think the hassle of like getting out your water bottle and untwisting it when you just need a little sipperoo, it's a lot. So I got the camelback. I think it's a game changer, and I would recommend it if you have the funds. Also, you should definitely rinse it out before you put like water in it because it smells like plastic and it's kind of gross.
And remember to like empty it out after hikes because otherwise you'll pull an old Ian pal and just leave your water sitting in it and it'll get all moldy.
Yeah, that's gross too. Yep. Yeah, those are helpful tips. For a backpack, you can go all out and get like Osprey is a really good brand and it has like the back or support, so it kind of like keeps it off your back and shoulders, and your hips do most of the work there for carrying the weight, and then it gets you off your back so your back's not as sweaty. But you know what, if you're just getting started, like any old JanSport will do. It's just you gotta make sure you got your water and your snacks. If you're doing like something that's several miles long and you're gonna do a lot of those, maybe start looking into a better backpack. But if you're just getting started, you don't go all out. Figure out if you like it or not.
Good advice.
Yeah, because backpacks are expensive.
Very.
Who would have thought? Another thing is you need comfy shoes. And at first I was like, you need hiking boots. You don't need hiking boots. Hiking boots are expensive, but you do need shoes with a very good tread. A lot of times, especially in the spring, things are very wet and slippery from things melting. Sometimes you'll still get snow at the top or ice at the top. So you need shoes with a good tread. You don't need like ankle high boots that cost like $200. That's crazy. You need shoes with treads because you're going to slip, you're going to fall, and you're going to break your ankle if you don't. And how do I know that? Is because I have been to Mount Katahdin with a person who wore, very worn down shoes, and guess who was slipping and sliding the whole way home? Ended up like twisting the living crap out of his ankle.
Who did that?
A friend of a friend. Shall remain nameless because I forget his name.
Don't want to shame him.
But yeah, be safe. And also, I would say, if this is your first time hiking or going distance, bring some like little Band-Aids. Or I even, one day I was without Band-Aids and I had a friend who decided to break in her new hiking boots.
Oh, no.
On a 9-mile trail.
What?
It was Dog Mountain in Washington. If you have any Washington listeners, that is a tough trail. It is like one of the hardest ones in that area. And she wore new hiking sneakers. And she got these huge blisters, and we didn't have any Band-Aids, but I had panty liners for some reason in my bag. So we padded her shoes with panty liners, and she made it the rest of the way.
My nightmare.
But we were just like, I'm like opening up. There's other people on the trail, and I'm like, don't mind us.
That's actually a really good solution.
It was, and like they're cheap, they're effective. So yeah, bring some panty liners. And then, so for snacks, my faves are grapes, clementines, apples. Those I find that they have like good carbs and sugars for you so you can get going, but they also have a lot of water in those so you can get hydrated as well. And then my fave is a PB&J.
Oh, so filling.
Yep, so filling, so good. And then every once in a while I bring up a White Claw as a summit sipper. You get to the top, you got to pop one open to celebrate.
You fancy bitch.
Yeah, fancy, pinky up. To get gear, any hobby can become wildly expensive, but if you're just starting out, there's a lot of gently used or discounted gear stores that you can go by. I know REI has a section that has like people have brought back their gently used stuff and then they resell it, so you can get good stuff for discounted prices. Sierra Trading Post is a great.
Ooh, yep.
I love Sierra Trading. I know it's owned by TJ Maxx and it's like very much fast fashion and whatnot, but I do think they have really good deals on really nice equipment. You just got to look for them.
And you will probably end up spending $200 more than you thought you would.
Yep. That always happens. Yep. If you don't have a friend or a car, transportation is an issue. Sometimes, depending on where you are, you can go to like meetups where they, all meet up and ride share over to the trail. When I heard of this was all like pre-COVID, so I don't know if that's happening anymore. Very much in Portland, Oregon, there was a lot of that going on.
That makes sense. And don't hitchhike.
Don't hitchhike. That's how you get murdered. And we have a little section on safety. So here are my tips. Do you want to? Okay, now is an okay time for you to talk about sunscreen because I did forget it, but it is important.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't want to overstep.
Sunscreen.
Okay. Yeah, sunscreen. That's it. Just sunscreen. Oh, and tissues. If you're someone who gets runny noses at, all seasons and you're bothered by that, which I very much am, and you might be too, just bring tissues because if you don't have something to wipe your nose on, you'll be pissed. So,
yeah. That's fair. That's my
little sensory.
Also, if you pee in the woods,
PSA.
Don't use a leaf because you don't know where that leaf has been.
Yep.
Yeah, sunscreen is always great. But even if you're doing winter hikes, you need sunscreen because the sun reflects off the snow and you can get really bad sunburns with really bad sunburn tan lines.
And a hat might also help with that if you don't like the feeling of sunscreen.
Yeah. Or you can get those like sun shirts that have like the SPF.
Oh, like what redhead kids wear at the beach?
Yeah. What all my nephews who are super blonde and pale wear at the beach?
Yes.
Yeah, those ones. My number one tip is always research the trail before you go on it, especially if you've never been up there before. AllTrails is my favorite app I use, so I look up the trail. It's good to find new trails. You can look at reviews, how well maintained is it? What are the conditions? Like one time I was all set to go and I looked last minute and I guess there was like a huge like yellow jacket issue on the trail. And I was like, well, guess I'm not going hiking.
God.
Don't want to deal with that. So yeah, definitely look up the conditions. Check the weather app. Check
the weather.
Check the weather, as my mom would say.
Shout out, hey Google, what's the weather?
Yeah, check the weather. Make sure you're prepared for whatever is going to come. And you can check state park websites too. That if it's in a state park, that's a really good resource. And then checking the weather leads me to my next segment. My next little tip is to layer. Always layer, bring layers because you never know what's going to happen. You don't know for sure. And sometimes the weather at the top of the mountain is completely different from what it is at the base of the trail. I'm going to link an REI article. We did it in our ski hobby collectors way back. Yep. It's an article about how they layer, especially for winter hikes, but I think you can use this year round. And basically they recommend the 3-layer system, which is layer number 1 is moisture wicking, whether that's just like a tank top or if it's a long sleeve, depending on what time of the year you're going and what the temperature is. The second layer is warmth only, and then the last layer is your outer shell. So something that's waterproof, something with a hood maybe, like a raincoat. It works every time. It prevents you from bringing too many unnecessary layers or not enough layers because I've been in both of those situations and it's always nice.
That sucks.
Yeah. It's going to be linked in the show notes. Our next tip is getting a map. I was going to sing the Door Explorers.
I knew you were.
I was going to. I'll refrain because I think we'll get sued. But
I saw it on your face.
Get a map. Look at the map on the AllTrails app. Look at the map on. Sometimes they have a map at the head of the trail. Take a picture of it. Just figure it out. Get the map. You can print it out ahead of time or take a picture, download it to your phone ahead of time. Just make sure. Don't link it to your email because what if you don't have reception?
You ever think of that?
And well, because it's happened to me before and I'm like, oh, my email's not working. And you're like, oh, I have no reception.
I feel like most of the good tips I have in life have only come about because I've gotten fucked in that exact situation.
Yeah, exactly. So I noticed when I was living out west and hiking a lot out there, the trails are not marked well or as well as they are in Maine. Maine, they have a really nice marking system.
Huh. I wonder why that is.
And it is nice. So out west, it's kind of like, figure it out. And I always had trouble getting to the trail, finding the trailhead. And then once you're on the trail, there's always a lot of different little pathways. Some people try to make their own trail. Ugh. And that's a terrible idea unless you really know what you're doing. You can get all these solar powered GPS units. Actually, my brother just bought me one for my birthday.
Sweet.
So I'll try. I don't know I'm going to have Christopher figure it out because it's too much technology for me.
He's your tech guy.
Yeah.
That's what
he's our tech guy.
Yeah, he is our tech guy, actually.
So that will be fun this spring, but I get unlimited data, so I usually follow on the AllTrails app, make sure I'm not way off trail.
No, brag.
I know.
Just kidding. It's not really a brag.
It's only because
I have unlimited data.
I have unlimited data, so it's important to me because I kept getting lost and I didn't want to die. Anyway.
Oh, the Queen of Maine.
Yeah.
With her unlimited data.
It's not that. It's just I realized I kept using
I know
all
you're
my
not...
data because I kept getting lost. And I need to get back on the app. So then I just realized I just need to pay for the data.
I know.
Anyway.
I know it's not a brag.
I'm not bragging.
I know, and I'm making
got
fun
lost many times.
I'm making fun of you getting so defensive as if I'm really calling you
I'm
out
defensive
for that being a brag.
I'm upset.
This isn't like 1998.
Right.
Sorry.
Speaking of my low technology, I have my dad's. I need to get an updated one. The Maine Gazette. Do you know what that is?
Yes, old man.
I feel like every old person in Maine has a Maine Gazette.
Yes.
I'm going to take a picture of it and post it. Basically, it's just a big old map of Maine, and it's in a booklet. And it's like a rite of passage. If you move to Maine and you want to be a Mainer, you got to get the Maine Gazette.
Yes, and it can only be found in a cabin in the woods. This old man lives there. He's 102, and he is the keeper of the Maine Gazette.
No, you can get one at Hannaford.
Oh, also Hannaford.
Hannaford, yeah, they had them on sale the other day. I should have got one because I need an updated one. But also in the back of the Gazette, they have like hiking trails you can do, and then you go to the little map that it's on, and it's kind of convenient.
I was going to say the Maine Gazette could be another little prize that we give out to people, like with kazoos. Send them a
they're
Maine
like
Gazette.
$15.
Well, it would have to be a big prize.
All right.
If we're asking our listeners to do a lot,
Very true.
Write us a brand new Hobby Collector song.
Yeah.
That would be like Maine Gazette worthy.
I'll get you a Maine Gazette if you want to write it. Or
Horse Train Meet Cute.
Yes. Thank you. You read my
if you're
mind.
taking the time to like write something out for us that's like lengthy.
Yeah.
We'll
send you a
Gazette.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
If it's at least 2 hours worth of work or even 1 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do it.
That's worth it. Yeah. So the Maine Gazette, actually, you know what? Now it's going to bother me. I got to look it up. How much is the Maine Gazette? $24.95.
What?
$24.95.
Oh,
this one's $17.50. That's probably an outdated issue. Anyway.
Wow. I did not realize
Maine
it was so
Gazette.
expensive.
Mine is, it's seen some things, but it's because it's my dad. So it's probably like 20 years old. But yeah, sometimes you're in an area where cell service is not reliable. Google Maps isn't working. Maybe you lose your phone. That's a really bad day. Have a backup plan for getting yourself out of the woods. Maine Gazette.
Is this an advertisement?
Yeah, we'll make a commercial for
the Maine
Gazette.
Well, hello there.
I'm Robert. I want to tell you about the Maine Gazette. My next segment, you ready? It's called Get That D.
Oh, yeah.
And basically by D, I mean DEET. Use bug spray, especially in Maine. There are mosquitoes, there's black flies, and there's so many ticks. And a lot of them carry Lyme disease, which is really bad. Equine, what is that? Epstein-Barr is a thing. Equine something. The equine virus is another
horses?
thing. Yeah, it's like a horse virus. Yeah,
horse virus.
What's it? It's like the EE. It's a really bad one. Oh man,
I don't know at all what you're talking about. So you giving me more hints is not going to help.
There is a lot of viruses that mosquitoes carry. Ticks carry Lyme disease, which is actually a bacteria. I have yet to find. Black flies are super annoying and they hurt. Yeah. I have never found a natural DEET-free bug spray that can keep up with the Maine woods. Maybe in Washington where they don't have ticks or mosquitoes, which is crazy.
They have a lot of ticks in Oregon.
They have some ticks in Oregon, but
the mosquitoes are nothing like
which is
Maine.
insane.
It was such a break.
Oh my gosh, a mosquito. I'm like, oh my God.
It was amazing. I was like overwhelmed by the amount of mosquitoes that are in Maine when we moved back. I was like, I forgot how terrible this is.
Oh, yeah. That's why I hike in the spring and the fall. The bugs are less. In the summer, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, swampy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have yet to find a DEET-free bug spray that can keep up with Maine. The bugs are on roids here.
And I have no patience for natural stuff that doesn't work. I'm like, this is one of the few areas where I need to be protected.
I always bring both because I know the person I'm hiking with usually tries to go for the natural one first.
And you want to teach them a lesson.
And I go, I have the natural one or I have the DEET. And they're like, no, I'll take the natural. And 5 minutes later, they're like, give me that DEET.
Give me that DEET.
Yeah. So you know what? Sure. Is DEET kind of carcinogen? Yeah. But you know what's really terrible? 1,000 black flies in your face.
Or Lyme disease.
That's also can be debilitating. My niece had that. But she had the acute version. She's made a full recovery.
Oh, congratulations, Cheyenne.
Yeah. We're so proud of you. You beat it.
Your father doesn't even listen to this podcast, so why would you?
No.
But
he adamantly refuses, but that's okay.
Some people are afraid to face their truth.
Yeah. Anyway, so Lyme disease can be treated with an antibiotic, but sometimes you can get the chronic version, which really sucks.
And that's terrible.
Yeah. So luckily they found it pretty much right away. She presented with that big bullseye rash and a bunch of fevers. And they gave her bubblegum flavored medicine. So she's like, I think it's time to take my medicine. And they're like, no, you're done. You've been done for a week.
You find her chugging it in the closet,
chugging
covered in pink.
Yeah.
Bubblegum.
Yeah, she is. She loves sugar. And she just, oh man. She even tells us, she's like, I like ice cream a lot because it has so much sugar. And I was like, goodness. Get a hobby. Anyway.
She's taking after you.
I know. I do love sugar. Here's a little tip. Get a disposable poncho. Just do it. It will, one of the plastic ones that come in an envelope and you can just put it over yourself, your coat, your backpack. That way, even if your backpack comes with a rain cover, sometimes it leaks or sometimes it's not on correctly or sometimes it's when it really starts raining and you unexpectedly find that it's raining. It really, really sucks. And disposable ponchos, they are worth it to me. How about that?
This episode brought to you by disposable ponchos. They're worth it to me.
I guess when you hike in the Pacific Northwest where it rains all the time, in the drizzle, it's fine. But when it really starts coming down and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting it to absolutely downpour. Or one time I got stuck in a, have you ever experienced thunder snow?
No.
It's terrifying. It's not a good sign. It's thundering and snowing at the same time. It's really pretty, but not when you're on the mountain. Yeah.
That's probably one of the worst places to be.
I sprinted down with my friend that trail. Her dog was like, oh, this is so fun. And we're like, oh my God. Disposable poncho. They are plastic.
Just do it.
Just do it.
We came up with that slogan?
Yeah. Kind of. And then I have a big thing about safety because trails are dangerous. There's animals, you can hurt yourself, and there's also creeps just hanging out.
There's creeps in the woods.
Creeps in the woods. Got to watch out for them. It's not best practice to hike alone. That being said, I love hiking alone.
And also it sucks to, be told as a woman that you shouldn't hike alone because it's dangerous. It's
Right. It's
everything is dangerous as a woman. Just let us live.
Don't run at night. And you're like, well, that's the only time I can run. I don't run at night. I don't run. How about that?
How about don't murder people on runs?
Yeah. How about that?
So, I feel like you have a good list of things you can do to protect yourself as a lone
and this is what
hiker,
I do.
Or
so
any lone hiker.
Yeah. And so one thing is you want to tell as many people as who cares. So I have my designated, it's basically you, our other friend Gracie, Christopher, if I'm going alone. Where I'm going, exactly what trail. For you guys, I usually say it's near this city. And then I share my location with them. That way they know where I am when I died,
Yep.
Yeah, find my body.
And so I can avenge you.
Yeah.
And you also say I should be back in 3 or so hours.
Yeah, if you don't hear me by 6 o'clock, let me know.
But that would also require me to remember that I'm supposed to hear from you by 6 o'clock. So it's great that you haven't been murdered in the woods yet because every single time you're like, made it safe. I'm like, oh shit. Okay,
or
good.
sometimes
I've been waiting.
I find a week later, I'm still sharing my location with you. And I'm like, oh, by the way, made it back.
Good thing I checked on that.
Yeah. So share your location, tell people where you're going and what trail you're doing. Obviously, like I said before, do your research on the trail. When I hiked out west, there were more bears and big game there. And it was also the trails were bigger.
Mountain lions.
Right? Well, there's mountain lions in Maine.
But weren't they a specifically kind of a big threat around that time out in Washington? There was someone got mauled by one.
I think that was Colorado. He choked it out. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would, I would
inspirational story.
Yeah, I would die. But yeah, you can bring a couple things. So I think the most helpful thing is bear spray. Have you ever seen a can of bear spray?
Yeah.
It's like a spray paint can.
Yeah, it's huge.
Huge. And it sprays out 6 feet. So it gives you quite a distance between. And it's not like pepper spray where you're like, I hope this is the right direction. It's clearly a very clear nozzle and it attaches to a belt if you have it. Or I just put it in my backpack.
You can also do hornet spray too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I think bear spray is the best, but hornet spray is also very good.
Bear spray is $12 on Amazon, and it is worth it. Although, don't keep it in your car. I've been told, don't keep it in your car on a really hot day because it will explode, and then you'll have bear spray car.
Bear spray car.
Coming this summer. So yeah, I think that's the most helpful because it gives, whether it's a bear or an attacker or a lion or creepy guys, it gives you quite a bit of distance between you and whatever's trying to get you. I also have a hunting knife, and that's mostly for aesthetics. It's fucking huge. It was a gift. I love it, and I've never used it. But I will if I have to.
But also if you are going to be in a tussle with another human, it can be very dangerous to have a knife.
Oh, for sure.
Unless you know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't go to that.
I would go to the bear spray first. The hunting knife, I guess I bring it mostly for, let's say I got really lost and I needed to, put together a shelter. I can at least, cut some sticks and stuff. And it has, a little, what's it called, a flint on it to make,
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's also, you can get there's a couple other, wilderness things. You can get, a space blanket where you can get warm and stuff. But, yeah. But yeah, for safety, bear spray, I would think, or at least even pepper spray, probably be the most helpful. You can get a knife, but mostly is making other people aware of your situation, which is that you're going for a lovely hike. Yeah. And I think that's it for my tips.
All right. Those are great tips.
Any questions about anything?
Nope. I think you covered
my last question.
A lot of it.
Okay. As I interrupt you, sorry.
You just asked me a question.
Do you have any questions? No, good.
I do have a question. Is this a good hobby for ADHDers?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked because, yeah, it is. And let me tell you why.
All right.
Because it's nice. You
All right.
are. Yeah,
we're done.
End of story. I don't think I have to.
It's nice.
No, it's. I think it's good. It's gets you outdoors. Sometimes the sunshine, sometimes the rain. They're both nice. Sometimes sun is better.
What a cool
You get
sentence.
a lot of exercise. That's a lot of dopamine. You're in the fresh air. You're away from people. You get to see new things and experience nature.
Yeah, I was going to say, being in nature is very good for us as humans.
Yep.
Hearing bird song is very good for calming your nervous system.
You can take some cool photos for your Instagram. And I also because it's non-committal, Like I said, you can make this as aggressive or as low-key as you want. Do you want to take a 2-mile walk on a nature preserve, or that has porta potties at the front of the trail, or do you want to be a backpacker and go on a 5-day journey in the woods? Up to you.
I don't. No. No, thank you.
Yeah. So I like to go somewhere in between, but I think it's really good. It's very flexible, and I think it provides a lot of happiness, and I think everybody should do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
I feel like it's one of those hobbies that, I'm sure you can get burnt out on it or go through phases where you do it more. But overall, I feel like you're not really going to get burnt out on it because you can only do it so often.
Yeah.
And it's really just walking, sometimes at an incline, sometimes not.
Yeah.
So how can you get burnt out of just moving your body outdoors?
Exactly. Yeah, I usually spring and fall are the best, I think, for hiking. I think you can get burnt out if you do a lot in the summer and it's just humid and you're uncomfortable and it's hot and you're just Last year I went on a trail with Christopher and I was Christopher runs hot.
He does.
He keeps our apartment so warm. His just core body temperature.
He's like a werewolf in Twilight.
Yeah. So we went on this really tough trail. This is his 3rd time hiking with me ever. We're both out of shape. We decided to go mid-July. It's hot as fuck. So humid. There's Tumble Down. There's a lake at the top. The lake is ice cold. And I was I'll probably dip my toes in because it's so hot, but I've only been swimming up there once because it's always so cold when you get up there. The whole time he's I'm so excited. I brought my bathing suit. I'm going to go swimming. I'm going to go diving, backstroke, front stroke, going to do flips. He's excited to go. It's sunny. It's blazing hot. By the time we get to the top of the mountain, it is cold, cloudy, windy, starting to rain.
Oh my God.
And we're both I've never been so uncomfortable. I'm I was hot and now I am cold and now it is raining. And so I didn't even dip my toes in. I was just I'm done.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, I bet.
He's still with me.
And you're still with him.
Yeah.
I bet one of the ways that I guess you could get burnt out is if you just try to do too much, which is, a common problem that we fall into as ADHDers.
Start slow.
Yeah, start slow and remember what it's about, remember what it's for, what it's all for. But really, I feel like some people are like, all right, now I got to accomplish this and now I got to do this. And they make it more about the
They're
achievement.
I got to climb the next highest mountain, and you don't. Just do what you like.
Do what feels good. Don't push yourself so much that you're going to be uncomfortable and hate it. You'll have to be a little uncomfortable. That's just kind of part of being outdoors. But yeah, don't push yourself so much that you're going to ruin it for yourself. Keep it fun.
Keep it fun. Keep it light. If you're a hardcore hiker, sure. But most important thing, I think, is to be safe, pack appropriately, bring enough water. Don't be jumping around on loose rocks. Stay on trail. Oh my God, why are people going off trail? And if you get lost, backtrack to the nearest trail marker and go from there. Even if you're well, I think it's over here. Don't cut through the woods to go to the trail that you think you were on,
Yep.
Follow?
Yep.
Okay.
We probably need to transition.
Yep.
Am I doing it now? Could this be a transition?
Could it be? And we'll see if we're in a world of
pure transitionation.
All right. Are you ready for alternative segments? This is a segment that is a grab bag of segments. It changes every time. Sometimes we have repeat customers. Sometimes we have return things. Sometimes we don't. And it's kind of wherever our heart takes us. We thought of when we were starting the podcast, we had so many segments, and then we realized we're just going to have a segment about different segments.
Yep, this is our meta segment within a segment.
Yep. So this week, our segment is My Current Hyperfocus. All right, Grace, what's your hyperfocus of this week?
All right, my current hyperfocus is The Ultimatum.
Yep.
Which is a trashy reality show on Netflix.
Sure. It sounds dramatic.
It is. I love a psychologically damaging reality show. It's psychologically damaging for the people who go on it. The concepts are always really fucked up. Take your partner and go live with someone else for 3 weeks, but date them alongside your partner and then come back and live with your partner.
Is that The Ultimatum?
Yes. I fought it. I started it and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I despise all of these people. But my friend Abby made me push through it and I did it.
It's a couple and then they go and live with other people and then they have to come back and decide whether they want to continue.
Yeah, it's a bunch of couples who are, one of them is giving a marriage ultimatum. All of them are
oh, it's about marriage?
Yes. It's
I thought it was just whether we want to stay together or not.
No, it's a marriage ultimatum of marry me or we'll break up. But
Jesus.
Yes, all of these people are 23, 24 and they're giving an ultimatum. So that immediately I was like, I hate this.
No.
I hate anyone who would do that. 24.
24. Anybody who would do that anyway.
Yes.
Marry me or break up. You need therapy.
Because a lot of them were I just want to have a wife. And if you're not going to be my wife, then I'll find someone else. So it's you care more about just the status
having
of
a wife than the actual human. Then don't get married. You clearly don't love that person. That's not marriage. That's just a transaction.
These are all the problems I went through in my mind of why I didn't want to start the show. But I love a reality show. I just love
I hate this.
I hate this.
I
love the human study of it. I love to watch human behavior. I love the sociology of it.
Okay.
So,
I'll give you that.
Thank you. So I finally got past episode 1 and then I was hooked. I always am. I knew I would be. Finish it real fast. Finished it yesterday.
How many episodes?
It's 10.
How long are the episodes?
An hour or 45 minutes maybe. I like to binge.
Okay.
I'm a binger. And then whenever I finish a season of a reality show, I love to do a deep dive on everyone from the show. I read articles. I find their social media accounts. I'm reading all the drama.
Jesus.
I'll listen to a podcast about it. I just want all the drama. I want to find out if my predictions were right of what's going to happen to them after they leave the show. Because human behavior is oftentimes falls into patterns. It can be predictable. I love the dynamics of it, and I will obsess over it and these people for 2 weeks and then it's just over. And that's done.
Jesus.
Yep. And
okay.
So that's my current hyperfocus.
Yeah. So, now that you finish it, what's the next show you're going to be in?
That's my problem. I'm in a void. If you have a good reality show for me, let me know. There's something I need to get into, 90 Day Fiancé and Married at First Sight, but I just can't get myself into it. I feel like it's a big mountain.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't do it.
I tried watching Making Anna on Netflix. That one about that, like, because I actually listened to a bunch of podcasts about that, and it was really interesting. But oh my God, each episode is like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it's so drawn out. I'm like, let's go, people. This does not have to be that long.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely
like each episode's like a movie. Yeah, there's no way. It's Netflix. That's unnecessary. Yes. Come on.
But reality shows, like each episode just flies by because it's like there's so much happening, you know?
Yeah.
Just what's going to come next?
So it's like I get so stressed from the drama. I can't do it.
Oh, okay. So for people who don't like the drama and find it stressful or trashy or, annoying.
Not trashy, just stressful.
A good one is 20 Somethings Austin. It's on Netflix. I've told you about it before. I've tried to make you watch it. But if you don't like the cattiness of reality shows and you just want to you just like watching people having fun together, doing life things, check out 20 Somethings Austin. It's just a bunch of nice people all living in a house together, starting their lives in Austin. And it's a good study in neurodivergence. There are a few people on there that I'm like, I think you're one of us. One of us. But they're really nice to each other, and you can tell that the show isn't trying to poke people or get drama going. It's just it just kind of unfolds naturally, and it's just about their friendship. So that's a lovely one.
That's what I would like to watch.
Do it. Please do it, because I would love to talk to you about it.
Okay.
All right.
Can I tell you about my hyperfocus? Because it's been bothering me. I have to share.
It's been bothering me too.
Yeah.
Because you've alluded to it, but you won't tell me.
Okay. Here's the question I've been thinking about for over a week at all times.
Yep.
It's in the back of my mind. In surgery, charting, running around town, I'm thinking about this.
I can't wait to hear it.
Here's my question. Why do horses have one hoof?
And by one hoof, you mean like
not a cloven hoof, but just one.
So on each foot.
On each foot, there is one hoof.
Not one. You're not asking why are all horses one-footed?
Yeah, no, yeah, because
am I correct in saying
yes? Because most horses are in fact four-footed.
All right, I'm glad we clarified that. So you mean the actual hoof that's on the foot?
Yes,
it's just
so most creatures.
The hoof is just one thing.
Yeah, it's just one nugget, right?
Yep.
So most creatures have a cloven type of hoof.
Yes.
Goats, pigs, but horses, donkeys, mules, zebras, one hoof.
Yeah.
Why? At first I was like, oh, maybe because they can run faster, but. Are deer not super fast?
They are.
They're super fast.
I agree.
Right?
I'm agreeing with you.
So I don't think it's that. So I did a Google. I haven't figured out my answer. But here is what I have found in my research so far.
All right. Let's hear it.
All right. So in taxonomy, which is the categorizing of animals based on their genetics and whatnot,
sure.
Hoofed animals are in the clade, which is remember, kingdom, phylum, genus, species. There's another thing called
Kingdom,
clade.
phylum, class, order, family, genus, species.
Yeah. I don't know where clade fits in, but
clade isn't in there.
Yeah. And I think it's it's in there. They've changed it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I have memorized.
Yeah, well, rememorize it. There's a thing called clade, and I don't know if it's a sub-genus or something,
This throws everything off.
Anyway, they're in a clade called ungulates, right? So, which is a fun name, but that's split into two sections, okay? So you have your first ungulate, which is called, and I'm butchering this name. Are you ready?
No.
Artiodactyla, and that is all even-toed hoofed animals. Okay, so pigs, giraffes, goats, camels, buffalo, antelope, deer, and many, many more. Okay?
Yep.
But then you have the Pericissodactyla. Okay?
You nailed it.
Yep. Nailed it. That's odd-toed animals, right?
Yep.
So this includes rhinos who have three little hoovy things.
Oh, you're right.
Right? They're toed. They're technically called toes, I guess.
Not a hoof.
Because the hoof is like a nail.
What do elephants have? Don't they have three also?
Elephants weren't in here, okay? I don't
know. What the hell?
I don't know! It might be different.
All right.
So rhinos that have one, horses that have two, and tapirs. And I know what you're thinking. Tapirs have 4 toes, but you're wrong. Tapirs have 4 toes in the front and then 3 toes on the back. All right.
Whoa.
So front feet have 4 toes each, back feet have 3 toes each, and apparently that makes them qualify for the Pericissodactyla.
It's like a reverse tricycle.
And that's all I've gotten so far. That
all
went
right.
down a long dark hole of looking at cute little baby tapirs.
Aw.
They're adorable.
So you don't have an answer of why?
I don't. It's the research continues. My work continues.
All right. Until you burn out.
Yeah. I'll keep you updated.
All right. I hope you find the answer before you move on from this topic.
Yeah. Same.
I'd like to know.
If anybody has any thoughts or feelings are on why horses have one toe per foot. They're a one-toed.
They're a Perissodactyla, as we all know.
They're a Perissodactyla, yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Maybe
Why
it's just,
is that? I just feel
maybe
like
it's just God's design.
Yeah, there's got to be an advantage, right? Because most animals are in fact even-toed.
Or maybe it's about just the structure of the whole animal, where because of how a horse is built, it benefits in some way from having.
But why? What is the benefit?
I don't know.
Why is the benefit of having one toe? Because I feel like everything that I think about in my mind, the benefit would be the two toes. You get more grip.
You think. You don't know.
Why is one toe better than two toes for the horse?
These are the questions we have.
Yes. The research continues. And that's been my hyperfocus. All right.
This is bad.
Alternative segments. Pew, 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 pew. Wow.
Alternative.
All right. That was great.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's,
very different hyperfocuses.
Yep. For sure. Yeah. Are you ready to get into these pizza secrets?
Yeah, let's fly through these pizza secrets.
All right. Let's sing the song first and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
All right.
Pizza secrets. Tell me your secrets. Pizza secrets.
All right. Pizza secrets. I don't even know how we came up with pizza secrets.
I think we were eating pizza or we
Obviously.
had ordered pizza.
Order pizza. And talking about little shitty things that we did that are funny now, but probably weren't then.
Or maybe they were funny then. But yeah, I don't know exactly where it came from.
So, but that's exactly what they are. Little shitty things that are funny now, but not really funny then.
And they're not crimes.
Not crimes. Stop sending us your crimes.
They could be little kid crimes. You know, they could be like child crimes.
Child crimes.
Like me breaking the window of my middle school with a rock in 8th grade. It's like,
oh, true.
Is that technically a crime?
Technically.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
But
You're going to jail.
I was a child, so statute of limitations does exist.
Very true. Very true.
So just little shitty things that we've done because we're, just little troublemakers and we do a lot of shitty little things and it's funny. I don't know. Thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
All right, Kristin.
Yeah.
Tell us a pizza secret.
I've named this Sprinting at the Dentist.
All right.
In high school, I got or maybe it was middle school, younger, I got my wisdom teeth out. When do you get your wisdom teeth out? High school?
Like high school. I got mine out even older. It depends on when they come in, but usually high school.
I think it was high school. Anyway, getting my wisdom teeth out, you get like the nitrous gas, right? It makes you a little loopy. So I get them all out. I have the cotton balls, and then my dad takes me to the checkout so we can check out. And I'm waiting there to check out. And then in my mind, I just go, I'm out. And and the dentist's office is in it's in the second floor of the office building. And there's other offices at the time below this dentist office. And it's a very busy dentist office. And I just I don't know what came over me. I just booked it. I bust through the waiting room and I just sprint down the stairs. My dad's like, Jesus Christ, where's she going? And one of the nurses is running after me and down the stairs. It's like, I get out to get her. They're like, no, you can't just sprint. You're on drugs. And I'm just
dripping blood behind you.
I scared a little old lady. She's trying to come up the stairs. I was like, out of my way.
Run, get out of here. Look what they've done to me.
And my dad, he was just like, oh, you could just send the bill to the house, I guess. I just waited for him at the car. And he's like, are you done? And then I slept for 10 hours.
Yeah, as you probably should have.
I don't do drugs, kids.
Unless it's at the dentist. And then you should do drugs.
Yeah, and then, I mean, I went back, but I think there was a big red X on my chart being she's a runner.
Strap her down.
But yeah, sprinting at the dentist.
I love it.
Yeah. What's your pizza secret?
All right. Mine is called Sometimes Instructions Are Good.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they're
always.
good. I know you're gonna give me a lot of shit for this because you're gonna bring up the time that I tried to light a
battery operated candle.
Yep. This is kind of along those same lines.
And you're still mad about it.
I'm not mad about it. I just defend my position.
You defend your position. There was a battery-operated candle. You tried to light the light bulb with a lighter, and then you broke the candle.
My position is, we've never had battery-operated candles in my home, so I guess I didn't really even understand the concept. I never thought that people would have them.
We weren't allowed to have regular candles because we lived in a cardboard box, basically. A very unsafe home.
I know.
That was incredibly flammable.
This isn't even my secret. We're going down a road that I don't want to go down right now.
We made a group decision not to have regular candles.
I forgot, and I don't know about battery-operated candles.
They're
and so
for
I just
aesthetics only.
I assume all candles are flame candles. So without looking, I was just like trying to light it.
It felt like a plastic candle. It had a battery in
You're
the bottom.
assuming I pay attention way more than I do.
Like it's just
I float through my life barely being conscious of what my body is doing, you know? So I'm like barely in my body, ever. I'm always up here, always up in the clouds.
You could see the little spinny thing of the light bulb. It was like very clearly a light bulb.
I wasn't looking in the candle. This is...
I have no words.
The same thing happened with the frogs, drinking the frogs. I'm not going to go into that one either, but that's, a pattern in my life where I do stuff without looking at it first. Or like drinking out of a straw without looking if it's like been cleaned out first,
Oh.
Then you get like a dusty straw. Yeah, so I do a lot of stuff like that. So the candle thing makes sense. But here's another example of that.
Okay.
So those heating pads that you can buy at like Walgreens or whatever, and you just open it up and then it just like, kind of like the hand and feet warmers.
Oh, yeah.
You just like take it out of its package.
You shake it a little.
Yeah, and then it'll just like heat up.
Yeah.
I had one of those. I think I was probably in like middle school. I remember it so specifically. But we had one of those at the house. I didn't realize, I guess I had never encountered one of those before. In my experience, you put a heating pad in the microwave. And so I was like, oh, heating pad, microwave. So I don't read the instructions because I'm like, I got this. Heating pad, microwave. So I open it up, take it out, put it in the microwave, put it on 30 minutes instead of 3.
No!
So not only did I put it in the microwave when it shouldn't go in the microwave, I put it on 30 minutes instead of 3, which it shouldn't have been on at all. I don't know where I got 3 minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, heating pad, 3 minutes.
I'm having an emotional reaction.
And after a few minutes, I started hearing this noise from the microwave, and it was like, I look over and it's like sparking and like there's smoke coming out. Yeah, yep. And I opened it up and it was just like filled with smoke and it had like caught on fire a little bit. And
did it ruin the microwave?
No, the microwave was okay, but I don't think I told anyone about it until now. It was one of my secret shames until now because it's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. Oh, man.
So, lesson learned.
That could have ended terribly.
Yeah, I could have like burned my whole house down.
Yeah, very easily.
But I didn't. So I saved it, I guess. So that just teaches me a lesson that I didn't learn because I still don't read instructions. But sometimes instructions are good.
One time I put a metal pot in the microwave.
Okay, that's way worse.
I was in middle
school. There's a rule. Oh, so was I. There's a rule about metal pots, and they don't go in the microwave ever.
And my mom saw me do this, and I go to press start, and she goes, "No!" and swats my hand. She goes, "Not ever, not ever." And I was like, "What is happening?
I'll never forget this."
Haunts me.
Sometimes you need the trauma. Otherwise, you'll put a metal pot in the microwave.
Yeah. So all right. Instructions are good.
Right? Sometimes instructions are good. And that's my pizza secret.
Yeah. Pizza secret. Nice.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Those are lovely secrets. Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you for sharing.
You guys, listeners got some bonus secrets there.
Yeah.
Candles.
I threw a few out there.
Yeah.
The frog drinking story, I have to wait until we have the infamous meat candler Peter onto the show. Because he and I had an incident.
Talk about his meat candles?
Yes, but also he and I had an incident with a frog in Australia. I'll save it.
Save it because I can't.
It's
I can't
upsetting.
right now. I'm upset already.
I still have trouble thinking about it. But it's something. It's in my history. I can't run from my past.
I just know it's gonna be gross.
It is. It's very gross. All right, let's trot our one-toed, 4-legged horse
for a total of 4 toes. We don't know why.
And neither does he. He's confused. He's tired.
Looking for love.
Yep. And looking for a nice place to stay the night, maybe.
Oh.
To settle down.
Maybe on a train.
Ooh.
Oh.
Sparks flying.
Oh. That's the train.
That's my heating pad in the microwave.
Oh.
Yeah. So all of that is to say that we're coming to the end of the show.
Yep.
And isn't it about time?
It certainly is.
Aren't we glad it's here?
Yeah.
What
a journey.
Yeah. If you, for some reason, want to find us on social media and participate in our polls, check out our weekly episode postings, and other fun things, DMing us, whatever. You can find us on Instagram at Weirds of a Feather and on TikTok at Weirds of a Feather.
Yeah, we've been
Kristin's-
posting polls about April Anarchy, although by the time this airs, this will be done.
April Anarchy is done. Forget about
Forget
April
it.
Anarchy.
Until next April.
Yep.
Yep.
And then get ready again. But until then, you can also email us at weirdsofafeather@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you want to share any of your pizza secrets, your quirks, your accomplishments, if you have a cool story about how a horse falls in love with a train, if you want to write a new musical number for our hobby collector song
yes.
that we desperately need help for, or if you just have some fun facts about why toes only have one hoof.
Tell us.
Why horses only have one hoof per foot. Let us know. I'm dying to know the answer to that one.
Same. And also, when does a walk become a hike?
Oh,
That's the other
that's
question.
right. We were
It'll be
talking
in a
about that
poll.
today. It will be in a poll. When does a walk become a hike?
Yep. All right.
Well, all right. That's been our show. Thanks for listening. Okay.
I think that's it. We'll talk to you next time.
You want to squawk our show?
I had a
Get us-
plan to practice, and then I just
Yeah.
didn't.
I always come in just impulsively.
Sometimes.
That one you might have to like lower the volume.
I always do.
Oh. It's like a
No,
baby vulture.
I don't like it.
Oh.
Maybe a whistle? No. Do I not know how to whistle?
I don't think you know how to whistle. You know what that's going to sound great is you whistling into the microphone.
This is not the time to
Yeah.
practice. Ah. Why do you have to embarrass me like that?
Ready?
All right, that's it.
All right, we're done.
We're done.
Bye.
Bye.